Alright, this was the haul of the gaper clams we got yesterday out of Bodega Bay. They've been in the fridge overnight and I just washed them all off with water. I didn't feel like I needed to show you guys that. I mean, just me hosing them off. And now I'm going to show you guys how to clean them. These are a little different than the horseneck clams that I showed you guys on the Tomales Bay video. Because these ones have the big abductor muscle, which will be good. The siphon, you want to just do the exact same way as the other ones. You're gonna you want to blanch this in water. It depends on the siphon. Sometimes, like these ones, if they don't have the big thick skin. If I show you a horseneck, I got a horseneck in here. See how the horseneck clams? This is a baby. They have this rough, dark skin. This stuff, I've eaten it without blanching them and with blanching them. And I think it's good almost either way with the white ones. Alright, so just like normal, I have a garbage bag here for the guts and stuff. So cut the dark tip off, cut the siphon off. This is just like cleaning the other ones now. Okay, put that in our ice water. Now with these ones, there's a big abductor muscle. It's like a scallop, right, like right here and right here, and you'll see it. So it's a little different than those ones I was doing the horse necks that I was doing at Tomales. It just closed up on me. So you really want to scrape that shell really, really good to really get that muscle, because that's a prized piece of meat. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I pull it out. It's just like a scallop. Okay, now I close those muscles, got those muscles up, and you can see the pad right there where it was. I still got to get this one all the way off. And these ones, I mean, you have the neck, but then these ones have a whole lot more body meat than the horse necks. The horse necks don't have as much body meat. They're mostly just the necks. Okay, so that's meat. You want to eat that. And this side too, that's good meat. Okay. And there's that scallop thing that I was telling you about. That's the muscle that holds the shell shut. These ones have a lot bigger one, and they have two. So like out of these, you get two basically scallops, and they're so, so good. That in there. I'm gonna bring the hose over, give these guys a rinse. This is all guts. And I know this looks white, but it's not actually meat. It's like basically like the stomach liner. You want to take off, that's the foot. That's what it uses to kind of dig down with. And it's a misnomer that clams like are digging to get away from you. What's happening is they're way down at the bottom, like 3 feet below the sand, and they send this big, if I want the long siphon. This siphon stretches and goes all, you saw how long this one was. This siphon stretches and goes all the way up to the surface. So when you're digging after a clam and you see it going down, what you're seeing is actually just pulling that siphon back. It's not the clam like digging away from you. I know, I remember as a kid I used to hear like, you gotta be really fast for clams because they dig fast and they dig away from you. That's actually not true. So I'm gonna get the hose. Okay, that's pretty much all guts. I know it's kind of tempting to maybe try to clean off some of that meat. There's a little bit of meat I left right there. But yeah, that's good meat. You can fry that up. The rest of all this is guts. You can kind of see like digested seaweed and stuff like that in there going in the garbage thing. Alright, today we're going to be making clam miso soup. We're going to use the abductor muscles that I cut out and separated from the rest of the body. Hondashi, which is bonito flakes, red miso, white miso, ginger, garlic, chopped up an onion, and some Chinese broccoli I got from the farmer's market, chopped up semi-fine. Okay, we're going to put this all in for a miso soup. The miso soup, good thing about miso soup, it doesn't take that long to cook. And it's a great alternative. My daughter really, really loves ramen. It's a great alternative and healthier alternative than ramen. So when I see you again, we'll start cooking. Alright, we're going to start with just water. Probably about, in this pot, say it's like 6 to 7 cups. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of more water to that. I don't think that's going to be enough water for us. Okay, so probably looking at about 40 ounces of water. So about 5 cups. Alright, we're going to get this to get started. We're already on high heat to get this boiling started. Now I'm going to add my miso. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of red and a tablespoon of white because I kind of like the flavor of the mix. The red miso seems to have more salt, but it does, to me, it gives me a little different flavor. So the way I like to break up my miso is like to use 2 spoons. I really want to get this thing, it's like a little small strainer that you can put, it's like a little small strainer that you put in, and then like it's a strainer like this big, and then you put your miso in, and you kind of dissolve it then. It'll kind of break down on its own, but it's good to kind of give it a good start in there, and as it cooks, it'll start to break down too. So I want to just kind of give it a head start. Okay, put the red in. I'm going to add about the same amount of white. You got to be careful with this, and you kind of experiment to what's going to work best for you, because the miso, if you add too much, it's going to be like too salty. And when you add the miso, because it has all the salt, you really don't need to add like soy sauce or something at the end. Usually once I put the miso in, I adjust the salinity. If I want like a little salty or something, that's when I start adding soy sauce at the end. But taste to see how you like it first. So breaking up this white miso, just going to get that in there, and then we're going to let that come to a boil before we start our next step. Okay, as I broke down the miso, I tasted it. As I broke down, yeah, I tasted the broth. It didn't quite have the oomph that I wanted, so I'm adding just 1 more tablespoon of the red miso. And as this is going to come to boil, it's all going to mix. Okay, it's all going to mix in there and be good. Okay, at this point, because they're going to take the longest to cook, I'm going to add my onions and my garlic. We want these to still have a little bit, mostly broken down, but still have a little bit of integrity to them. And I'm actually going to get my wife to try clams. Okay, garlic. I usually just shake it out. About, call that about 3, probably 2 tablespoons, maybe 2.5. And with this ginger, it's probably going to end up being, here, we'll just be official, 1 heaping tablespoon. I really like the taste of the ginger. It's probably not authentic, but I really like the taste of ginger. When I used to make Chinese food or Asian food at home, it was always something that was missing, I felt like. When I discovered ginger, I realized that was my missing ingredient. I wasn't cooking with ginger. I was raised by a Canadian lady. And if you know anything about Canada, they like bland food. So we ate very bland kind of growing up. They think pepper is spicy. Oh, at this point too, I'm going to add our hondashi. Now this stuff, in my opinion, is pretty strong. We do not like fishy in our family, but it does add an extra like little umami flavor. So I just add a little dusting over the top. If you ask my buddy Troy, he's going to say that's not enough dashi. But I like just a little extra kick that it adds without turning it into a fish stock. Because I love fish, but I don't like fishy flavors. Okay, this is almost to a boil. We'll come back in a minute. Alright, now with miso, you really don't want to bring it like into a hard boil, so it's just starting to boil. So I cut the heat, or turned it down. Okay, now I'm going to add in my clams. All of them going in the pool. Okay, you really want to just, like with miso, just kind of simmer it. Otherwise you're going to get like the foam and stuff on top. So really just want a real gentle cook on those clams. Just pretty much just kind of warm them through. Because you could eat these raw. And if you overcook them, then they get like super chewy. Okay, we're going to finish with our Chinese broccoli. Some color. Just let that warm through. So this one, usually when I do miso soup, I add tofu, but I really kind of wanted the broth and the clams to be the star of this soup. I'm gonna look and see. Just grab some green onions from the fridge. Just put those right at the very finish. If you garden and you like green onions, don't throw the bottoms away. I keep the bottoms and plant them in my garden, and then I get green onions whenever I want them. And they also, if you plant them next to greens, the green onions, if you plant them next to greens, most like aphids and stuff don't like onion and garlic. So it puts an onion and garlic smell out around your greens, and you'll get less aphids. And other things that like greens, like I grow like tree collards, and I grow kale, and I grow Swiss chard right now. And we're also growing peas. I'm gonna try one of these, see if it's done. Perfect. And they're tender. Okay. Now's a real test. We'll see if my wife likes it. Alright. And cooking for just a few minutes. Just let everything warm through. Put some of it up. I'm not going to get too much right now. I want to get some of those clams. I can feel them down in there. There's some. Get those nice bit of clam meat. Okay, that looks pretty. Really pretty. So, here it is. Some onion. Maybe give us some cilantro on top too. Okay, in a second we're going to try it and taste it, and I'll tell you what we think. By the way, my wife tasted it. She liked it. She said maybe the texture of the clams might go probably better for a heavier soup. This might be a little light application for the clams, because the clams feel a little heavy for how light this soup is. But I think I'm going to taste it in a second. We'll see if I like the contrast or not. Thank you to my beautiful wife who's doing camera work for me right now. So there it is. Clam miso soup using the abductor mussels, which are like the scallopy looking things, with Chinese broccoli and onions and garlic and ginger, and with red and white miso and hondu dashi. Okay, let's try the broth first. Ooh, really good. She's right, it's very light. It's nice. It's nice on like a cold day. This would be really good and an easy soup to do like when we're out there clamming. Okay, now I'm going to try it with the clam. Yeah. Really good. The abductor mussel tastes exactly like a scallop. It's just a little tougher than a scallop. But really good. Actually gives a nice, like, chewy contrast too. I really like it. overall, this is definitely a success. Probably not authentic. I'm sure there's some Japanese people out there that's going to call me on it. Taku, I tried my best. But overall, I think this is really good. And I think this is worth making again.
What's Taku's channel called?
Outdoor Chef Life.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been one of the people. He's super, super nice guy. Jojo and I met him at Bodega Head one time. He took a picture and stuff with us. It was really cool of him to do that. So, overall, success. Thanks for watching. Excuse me. I'm going to do what I said I wasn't going to do. But, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks.